Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Camus, and I am here with Cheryl Pence. And Cheryl is our lone candidate for the Great Lakes Regional Director position. Hi, Cheryl. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good, Jason. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being here today. And really, as the purpose of these videos is just for an opportunity for the region in this case, but also for around the country, for everybody, for all of the Sertomans out there to get a chance to know who the candidates and who their future board members are going to be. And so we're just here spending 10 or 15 minutes visiting with each of the candidates and giving them an opportunity to share a little bit more about themselves. So, Cheryl, let's go ahead and get started with you. Why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you personally?
Okay. I'm Cheryl Pence. I have been a member of Sertoma since February of 1986, so I was one of the early women to join. Um, I'm married. My husband Mark and I have been married almost 49 years, and we live in Springfield, Illinois. I'm a retired librarian. Um, Spent most just about all my professional career here in Springfield in different libraries and retired from the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum. Um, we have no kids, um, several nephews and nieces in law, great nephews and great niece. And I enjoy Sertoma a lot. My club is great and I have a lot of friends there.
Awesome. Well, that's excellent. So tell us why are you running for regional director now?
Now,
Well, I mean, maybe you've done it in the past. I don't know the
no,
history of all that. So,
no, this is
what made you decide to do it?
okay. Well, um, I feel like I've learned a lot from attending regionals and nationals, and that I've been able to help my club grow through the things I've learned. And I sort of hope I can help other clubs in our region in the same way by sharing that information that comes from the larger level with the club members around the region. I was not a district governor because by the time I had the freedom to be able to do that, district governors had been eliminated. So I was president of my club twice. I've been secretary for the past 12 years, I guess. And I've been other club officers, all the vice president jobs and things through the years. So I feel like I've got a decent background on what clubs do and um, what the region and national do for the clubs.
Okay, excellent. Well, that kind of bleeds over into my next question, which is tell us, just share a little bit about your experience with Sertoma, and kind of your history, maybe what a little bit about your club and your role there.
Okay. As I said, I joined in February of 1986. So it was in the very early days of women in Sertoma. And looking back, it was pretty funny in many ways because there were a number of older gentlemen, some of whom were charter members from the 1950s, some of whom were very welcoming to me, and some of them were not so thrilled. I was not the first woman to join. I was the second woman, but the first woman didn't stay. So, for all intents and purposes, I was the only woman for several years. Um, I I've lost the train of the rest of your question. I'm sorry.
No, just maybe a little
About
bit
my
about
history.
your club and
Okay.
club and
Yes. Our club has been really strong on hearing and speech related issues through the years. We've also been a club that has done a number of things with the national heritage concept because being in Springfield, we're the home of Abraham Lincoln. And so we kind of bleed national heritage around here.
just
Um, we have a sister club in Mexico. I think we're the only club that has a sister club, and it's in San Pedro de las Colonias, Mexico. And we've had lots of exchange visits between our people going down there and some of their members coming up here. We've worked with students from their city to help them with their English. They've come to spend time here in Springfield and go to the community college and work on English skills. We have about 38 members or so, I think, in our club. And we're a bit of an aging club, and we'd like to get some younger members. Our members right now range from being in their, I'd say, in their 40s to at least one who's in his early 90s. So we're quite a spread on our ages, but it's on the higher range.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me, what do you love about Sertoma?
Well, I was interested in the fact that Sertoma worked with hearing and speech related issues. That caught me right from the beginning. I had been a member of a women's organization called Quota Club, which was a speech and hearing related women's service organization, and our local club folded. And a man I worked with at the time said, "Well, Sertoma's taking women now. You ought to come join us." And I've really enjoyed working on hearing and speech related things, whether it's a national service project or Celebrate Sound. And we have purchased a number of pieces of equipment for community venues so that when people go to the shows at the Center for the Arts, they can use at that time we bought an FM system for them so they can use that. Um, we've been purchasing the info loops for various venues around town, including some of the museums and libraries. Um, so I really like the speech and hearing aspect. I think it makes us unique, and like to promote it and like to remind people that Sertoma is about speech and hearing.
Excellent. So, obviously your role as a board member will be one where you get to influence some change around the country, and with the organization. And, we've been around for 110 plus years. So that goes with, what are those things that you would like to see us improve or change as an organization, and maybe that trajectory moving forward during your time?
Hmm. I'd love to see anything we can do to increase our visibility nationwide. And some of that, of course, is dependent upon the number of clubs we have. Many small towns have Lions clubs, and people know that Lions clubs do vision things. We don't have as many clubs spread out across the nation as some of the other civic organizations, and that affects our visibility. But I'd like to see us improve our visibility so that people don't say, "What's Sertoma?" Or so that we are not saying we are our own best kept secret, because I don't think that that's a good thing.
No, not at all. We don't want to be a good kept secret. We want the
Right.
world to know what we are.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. Okay. So tell Sir Tomans a little bit, about your leadership experience and maybe successes, but maybe outside of Sir Toman. You said you've been a librarian for a number of years, so I got to imagine any librarian that could deal with the amount of kids that you probably have had to deal with. I mean, that's a lesson in leadership right there. But tell us a little bit about your background outside and what you bring
Okay.
to Sir Toma.
Okay. Um, well, I've been in my library career. I was supervisor of special collections department, which was several different departments within the presidential library. I was helping those librarians and curators to develop our plans for a new building when the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library was being built. And I was trying to help them navigate a change from being very much a well kept secret, as we were in our previous location and our previous name, to becoming quite a hot item on the tourism circuit. Um, and so we had lots of cultural changes going on between the old library and the new library, and trying to help people be ready for that kind of visibility that we gained through that move. Um, I was worked for two different state agencies before I worked for the presidential library. One of those, I was a consultant in the library development group at our state library and worked with libraries around the state in certain regions on grant projects that they applied for and received, and attended and represented the state at their, um, they were called the library systems, at their system board meetings. So I was helping, present what the state's plan was for libraries around the state. Um, my first job after I got my master's degree was a department head job at the public library here in Springfield. That's what brought us to Springfield. And I supervised a small staff and helped select materials for the library as a whole, worked with other department heads from our library and its branches, and um, helped to help the staff to deal with the public better, deal with the kids, as you mentioned. They were not part of my particular department, but you cannot, in a public library, you cannot avoid the children. They are
That's right.
there.
That's right. Excellent.
Um, Also, I was a member of the board of the Sister Cities Association of Springfield for a number of years and served as their secretary for 3 or 4 years, I think it was. And we worked with the city and our, at that time, two sister cities. One of them was San Pedro, Mexico, which became a part of Sister Cities as a result of Sertoma's work to make it a sister club. Then we went on and helped to make it a sister city. And then the other sister city was in Japan, and working with other board members to present Springfield to those communities and develop our relationships and friendships with people in those other cultures.
Awesome. So it's safe to say you've had plenty of leadership and experience that you'll be able to parlay a little bit into what we do with Sertoma.
I think so.
Excellent.
Um, I've been I've always found it interesting, especially joining the club when it was mostly a male club. I've found it interesting to see how women and men look at leadership and service and fundraising differently,
Yeah.
and we can all learn from each other.
Yeah. Very much so. Very much so. So is there anything, as we kind of wrap up, is there anything that we missed today that you'd like to share that you want people to know about you and what you plan to do and your role? You have the ease of all you have to have is one vote, and I have a feeling you'll have more than that. But as
I
long as you
hope
vote
so.
for yourself, you are in. But what is there anything else you want to share with everybody out there?
Well, I look forward to getting better acquainted with all the clubs in the Great Lakes region. I have to admit, I don't know the people in Indiana and Ohio as well as I know the people in Illinois, but I look forward to getting better acquainted and trying to communicate to them what's happening on the national level, and showing people what's happening in the Midwest.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for doing this little interview, sharing a little bit about yourself, and especially for just stepping up and being willing to be a national leader of Sertoma. I think the layperson really doesn't have an idea that there is work involved, and it's not all just fun and games. We unfortunately don't have any board meetings in Honolulu or anywhere sunny and warm. I know that's disappointing, but there's a lot of work to be done, and to move the organization forward and keep us going for the next 110 years. And as somebody who will work for you and work for the board, as long as you all see fit, I appreciate that commitment as well. So
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to working with the board and working with you and the staff. And
excellent.
okay,
Well, thank you very much for your time. Have a great rest of the day, and
Thank
we
you.
will see you soon.